All right, in this video, I'm going to share with you the survival skills that have helped me overcome my biggest failures in life. Especially if you have been following my YouTube channel, you know that in 2011, I lost everything. I was wrongly deported from Dubai, UAE. I was penniless in India, Mumbai. Uh, and I literally was on the verge of killing myself. That video is there. You can type Loy Machedo 2011 suicide. You can just type in the search, you will get it. So, from being penniless, homeless, whatever, not having any reason to live, to where I'm today. So, people, sometimes ask me, but how this topic came to be was, um, I think yesterday or day before, one of the members, when we were chatting, so I just told him that, you're talking to a guy who literally had nothing and had to survive. So then he said, so why don't you make a video and share what are some of the skills that you need in order to survive? So I'm going to have a conversation with regards to the skills. Now it depends on how long this video is. Maybe I'll make part one, part two, and part three, or two parts. So let's see. As of now, there are 26 points, but then I would rather have you watch a full video and enjoy it rather than make it too long and for you not to complete it. All right, so let's start. In no particular order, I've given the points. You can note down which points you feel will help you. But I can challenge you on this. If you follow some of the points and put it into practice, it will really show changes in your life. All right. So the first thing that I learned very quickly was you can't be a good guy and survive in today's day and age. And what do I mean by good guy? Now, good guy doesn't mean, opposite of good guy doesn't mean that you start being evil, you start scamming people, you start cheating people, you start destroying people's lives. That is not the opposite of good guy. By good guy, I'm talking about you always wanting to help other people, being goody two shoes, being very kind, giving people discounts, giving people for free, letting always your heart take over. I was always the type who always believed in friends, always believed in the family values, always believed in helping others. Now, by family values, I don't mean that I don't have any values. It's just that my family was very toxic and I always yearned for their love and affection. So, and also where girls were concerned, I was always trying to, even though I was a playboy, I always try to spend money on them, be very nice to them, take them out. I wanted them to have a great time. But then when you go through tough times, all these people, whether it's friends, whether it's girlfriends, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's all the people you did things for free, I mean, they all just vanish. They just don't have the time or they don't have the interest or inclination. So I told myself, then why the hell am I being a good guy? I'll give you some examples so it makes sense. I used to go to schools and colleges to give talks on public speaking, leadership, along with the other Toastmasters who used to arrange such seminars and conferences. And I would do that during working hours, taking a day off. I would mentor and train children. I'd mentor and train people who didn't have the ability or money to go for trainings. All this was organized by charitable organizations, and I never took money. Obviously, they would give you bouquet of flowers or a certificate and all that. That didn't matter to me. I went there because I felt I was making a positive difference. But then these these very same people, organizations, everyone, when you're going through a tough time, they're not bothered. Why? Because it doesn't sit well with their the vision that they have, the business plan that they have. So I was like, all this time I spent for you guys. I give so much charity. Sometimes I did fundraisers, all that. So I was like, enough of all this bullshit. I'm not going to give any charity. I'm going to help anyone. No helping even the poor. Bugger off. So the first thing is you can't be a good guy. Okay, you can't be a good guy and succeed. And in a dog eat dog world, you need to play the game the way it is required. Like for example, you're playing football. Play football with the rules of football. Don't play football with the game or with the rules of cricket. You get what I'm saying? Okay. The second thing was I realized that I was in a I was in a problem because of certain actions, because of certain behaviors, because of certain beliefs. Okay, like maybe I trusted people too much, or I was helping others, or maybe I was not, you know, spending more time with the family or with the friends or whatever. So I realized, okay, I'm fed up of this result, this situation. If I had to change it, obviously I have to change everything. You cannot have a different dish having the same ingredients, the same recipe. You know, there's that saying, no? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So I was like, I need to change everything. So, which is why I changed the place where I stayed. I changed the friends. I changed the family. I changed society. I changed my habits. I changed my lifestyle. I changed every single thing. You cannot change yourself unless you change everything. Because end of the day, let's say you want to give up smoking, but all your friends are smoking. The places you hang out, they are smoking. And if you have a girlfriend who's smoking, how will you give up smoking, man? Or if you want to, let's say, spend more time being fit, physically fit, but your friends are never going to the gym and they're always calling you out, and you're not. These people don't believe in going to the gym, and they don't. They even encourage you not to go to the gym. Come, let's go to a restaurant. We'll treat you and all that. So I had to change everything. Okay, from my surroundings to the people I was discussing, talking, being with. So that's point number two. Point number three is, oh, this was very important. Uh, I was also like a normal guy. I used to bitch and moan and groan and complain. And, those days I used to believe in God. So I was like, man, the market is down. Oh, man, people are like this. Oh, girls are like that. Or there is so much of politics and all that. I would moan and groan and bitch just like everyone else, and we would have this pity party where we would say, "Yeah, man, she's a bitch. Yeah, man, he got a promotion for this." So I was like, "Stop, enough, no more boning, bitching, groaning." And obviously, I broke up with all of them. So I didn't want to sit down and boo hoo hoo, cry myself. In fact, let me share with you something very interesting. When I was, in that suicide attempt, when I was standing in front of the railway tracks, thinking of whether to jump, and I was crying, actually, literally crying. And I was crying, and guess what? There's nobody to wipe my tears because I'm crying alone, right? If you're with your girlfriend or baby and she'll kiss you and hug you, if you're with your friends, hey, come on, man. So yeah, nobody was bothered, and I was crying. And then, yeah, I just suddenly just turned my face around, and there I saw two guys lying on the ground. They were sleeping. In India, they sleep on the footpath, whatever. So they're sleeping on the platform, and they apparently kind of had a idea that I was planning to jump or suicide or kill myself. So they started recording on their phone because maybe they wanted to share with their friends. So it became more like a spectacle or show. So I was like, why the fuck am I crying here? Like, they don't give a fuck. I was like pissed off. I was like, stop this bullshit crying, man. Stop this bullshit crying. And in fact, if you believe in God, and injustice is being done, oh God, why are you not there for me? You know when I was raped, when I was molested, when I was taken advantage of, oh God, where are you? My parents used to beat me and until blood, and I was battered and bruised. And I used to cry and think, God, Jesus is watching. Oh, He loves me. He'll be there for me. It's all shit. Yeah. I was like, enough of this. No more crying. No more moaning. No more groaning. Ask yourself, what can I do? I decided, no more crying. No more bitching, moaning. Just do something. Okay. Uh, and yeah, that was where I decided I'm going to take charge. That's it. I'm taking charge. I'm not going to allow anyone else, not even a God, to take charge. I took charge of my own life. Number four is, before I was to have relationships which are purely based on something more than just benefit. Okay, changing someone's life, or nostalgia, or my school friend, or my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, or my parents, relatives is the same, or my ex, or, office buddy. So I would keep friends, relationships, go for these charity events and give my time, effort, and money. I would look for, you know, I'm not looking for my benefit. I'm just looking for the benefit of you and society at large. But then I changed it. From now, relationships will be all measured in terms of money. Okay, every relationship has to give me some benefit, or I don't want that relationship. And that benefit has to be either now or within a few days or weeks. Otherwise, what is the point? Like, I'm not going to keep a relationship with someone who maybe after 20 years is hopefully going to benefit me. That doesn't mean I don't say hello or treat people with kindness, but I'm very calculative about my relationships. I will not waste an iota of time if there is someone who does not benefit me and if I can't benefit them. The people that I deal with, it always should be mutual. It's not just me, I. I also want to give them benefit. So it should be mutual and it should be give and take. It should be a beneficial relationship. Otherwise, no. And when you don't have any expectations, and you make it very clean, very clear cut, there's no getting hurt business. And mentally prepared, whether it's my daughter, whether it's my wife, anybody. Because I'll tell you, when you're of no use, all these relationships now, they just vanish. Number five, this might be controversial for some of you, but what I realized is, this good and bad concept is very subjective and based on country to country, religion to religion, society to society. For example, having, I'll give you something really shocking and controversial. Having sex with an animal, it's like horrible. It's like bad. It's like pure evil. Just Google search on Vice documentary donkey sex. In Colombia, having sex with the donkey, a man having sex with a donkey is the sign of him being a man, manhood. In India, if you actually look at conservative societies in the East, especially in India, having a child out of a wedlock is considered, the child is considered like a bastard or, dirty or evil. It's considered a mistake. But in the West, having a child out of wedlock is considered normal. In Islam, one man can marry four women. It's considered as per their religion. In other religions, one man, one woman. What do you mean marrying more than one? So you get what I'm trying to say. So there are rules of society. What is good in one is considered bad in another. So all these are man-made. All these are man-made. So I realized there's no good, there's no bad. You figure out based on where you are, which country, which rule, whatever, and adapt accordingly and manipulate the system. For example, in a Muslim country, alcohol may be considered haram. Sleeping with a woman who is out of wedlock, haram. Having a child out of wedlock is absolutely haram. Go to a modern country, all these three, nobody cares. So remember, good and bad doesn't exist. It's all subjective. So just manipulate and play with the rules to suit your agenda. Number six, religious people hate me for this. God doesn't exist, and that's a fact. Okay. My open challenge to anyone who tells me God exists, open challenge to you. Don't give me words. Don't give me big explanations. Just give me evidence he exists. That's it. Like people say aliens exist. Okay, fine. Give me the evidence. Don't give me theories. Okay, so you might say, oh, Loy, then you believe in science. Then what about the Big Bang? I'm telling you, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how the world was created. If someone wants to convince me on the Big Bang, yeah, I need to see the evidence. Can't see the evidence, sorry. You might say, oh, then how do you know you have a heart that's beating? You can't see it and all that. Don't give me. This is called the play of words. Okay. I'm not interested in play of words, and I'm not interested in Big Bang. I'm not interested in God, not being I'm just interested in the information that benefits me. And for me, what benefits me is the ability to earn money, look after my family. That's about it. All this extra terrestrial information of God and aliens and unicorns and Lord Shiva, Ganesha, Amun-Ra, Thor, Jesus, Allah doesn't help me make money. I'm not interested. I'm sorry. Okay, it doesn't help my health. It doesn't help anything. So bottom line for me is God doesn't exist. And why that is important for me is because anything good happens, I don't pray to a God. Anything good happens, I don't thank a God. I take credit for it. Anything bad happens, I don't pray to a God. I also take credit. I also blame myself for it. Whether it's economy, whether it's health, whether unpredictable stuff, I take charge. I say, okay, it has happened. What can I do about it? Because that's the only way. Like when I lost everything, I'm not going to go, God, why? It happened. What's the solution? God is not going to help. Do it yourself. Number 7, you are the sum total of the people you are surrounded by, the conversations that you have, the thoughts that enter your head, the content that you consume. I'm very particular who I talk to, what I talk to them, what do I read, what do I watch, what do I learn, who do I spend time with. All this matters because that will make you who you are. Someone who is born and raised with MIT and Harvard graduates will be an intellect if he is constantly, shaped to become like that. Someone who's born in a wrestling family and he sees everyone wrestle and, they only talk, live, he'll also be a wrestler. Someone who lives and breathes, let's say, a media, you know, being famous, being in the limelight, and they are taken out with their parents in media, limelight, and everything else, and they are groomed, they'll become that. Someone who is born and raised in business, same. Someone who's born and raised with a bunch of parents who smoke, drink, do drugs, and he's also exposed to the whole environment that does that. That's what he'll grow up to be. Someone who's born and raised in a terrorist family, terrorist organization, where they see everyone shooting, killing, and bombing. What do you think he'll become? You think he'll become a priest, a holy man? No. So, what content you put in your head, what you surround yourself by, what you consume, who you're with, make you who you are. Number 8. Um, Lucky for me, I right from a young age was very talkative. But just talking is not beneficial. Talking, anyone can talk. I shaped the ability, the yearning, the desire, the drive, the temptation to talk into communication. I sharpened it. And then I learned the art of public speaking. From there, I learned the art of communicating. See, public speaking is one, you speak publicly. Communicating is where you start communicating to people, where you have to persuade them, where you have to, motivate them, where you have to educate them. So there are different styles of public speaking once you get into it. And then I learned the art of writing, which I didn't know how to write. I didn't even know how to write a letter until I think the age of 31. I really didn't. And thankfully, there was no AI, there was no software, nothing. So I taught myself. I worked very hard. I used to literally write. First, it came 50 words. Then I used to struggle to write 50 words. Then once I kept at it 100 words. I can make a separate video on this if you're interested. Comment down below. At 100, 200, 500. Then it became 1,000 words almost every day. Like different articles. And I could say that if I want, I can write 3,000 worded article. But yes, there'll be plenty of spelling mistakes. Spelling is my biggest weakness, and grammar is always tense and all that. I would not say it'll be a masterpiece, but I'm able to articulate my thoughts. Okay, and I think I do a fairly good job. Yes, I have to polish it. That's a different story. So written and spoken, and then once I moved to YouTube, that's a different style of speaking. That took me like you say, 9,000 videos to come down to this level where I am today. So, communication, written and spoken, will definitely change your life. Next one. Um, Speaking in front of large crowds gives you a kind of confidence and gives you an aura, a charisma, a confidence that you cannot explain. It is not standing there wearing a three-piece and speaking with an accent and trying to be like an announcer, like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. That's not the one. And it's not like, come on, put your hands up, pump it up, and, like a DJ and all that. I've done all that. That's all bullshit. You're talking of you, like, the typical Steve Jobs, standing there, one more thing, the power, the presence, the ability to creatively manipulate your stage. You're standing on a podium in front of a lectern. Remember, difference between podium and lectern. Not many people know about it. not relying and dependent on a PowerPoint with all these dummy, stupid words on it, but being able to communicate an idea in such a way that people like, wow, you know, if you can do that now, there are very few people who really know how to do that. And I really admire those people. You might not like these people whose names I'm going to take next, but Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Mehdi Hassan, even Majid Nawaz, they are controversial people, but they have their way. In fact, you'll find this most shocking. Narendra Modi, even though he cannot speak very fluently in terms of English, his presence is there. There is a way, a manner in which you can do that. And the key point that I'll give you here is charisma. If you can adopt charisma into your personality, how figure out how to be charismatic. I studied the science of how to be charismatic. I used it in my own life, and I managed to achieve a certain degree of success, money, fame, notoriety, whatever. So I know the bits and pieces, the science behind it. Had I been like in the corporate world or whatever, still in Dubai life, I think I could have done much more, but I chose not to. That is why if you type Loy Machedo, Coca-Cola, I was part of the social experiment that clocked in 750 million views. And if you type Loy Machedo, TEDx Dubai, which is the most prestigious, was in UAE at that time. In the Middle East, it was TEDx Dubai. That's it. Uh, Despite all the odds, they wanted someone influential to be there. I got selected. It was a very controversially long story, but anyway, I got it there, and even though that was not one of my best speeches, but I did it. So it's all because charisma. Okay, and that TEDx Dubai has mistakes and errors in that speech, yet I was able to overcome only because of using the principles of charisma. I can make a separate video on that if you want. Let me know down below. And yeah, do ask your questions if you have any doubts. Next one is this is very important. Number 10. I broke off with all my friends and families. That's it. There's no two ways about it because they were absolutely useless, mediocre, two-faced, toxic, horrible individuals. They didn't even deserve to be called as animals. They were the scum of the earth. And I'm glad I broke off from them. I would never reach where I am. I'd never be happy as long as I was with them. And that also includes the church, the society, all the old people. Yuck. It is like, taking a snort which is there stuck in your mucus, green, and they were that yuck. They might say the same about me, no problem, but I'm happier without them. I'm sure the feeling is mutual. I'm sure they must be saying the same thing, but whether it's not the question who's right, who's wrong, I'm just happy where I am. Number 11 is this was one of the hardest things for me to come to, and that is self-awareness, self-realization, finding out who I am, who I really am. Okay, that's one of the hardest things you're going to go through. Many people go through life without knowing that. Some people get so overtaken by money, success, power. They never spend time asking this. And sometimes people only ask this question when they're about to die or when they lose everything and they reach a point of suffering. For me, I guess because of the suffering and pain, I really spend time digging and asking, who am I? Every single day. Who am I? What am I? What do I want? Who? But unless and until you find out who am I and what am I, and putting all the extras like what do I want, if you don't know who you are, you'll ask for the wrong things, you'll seek the wrong things. And for me to come to terms with that, who am I, which is another video in itself, I found out I was an asshole. I found out I was irritating. I found out I was not a people's person. I found that I was not likable. I found out I was a rebel. I found out that I could never fit into certain brackets of society. This happened because I was obsessed with who am I, and I bumped into it accidentally. It's one of the most fascinating journeys. I don't know if I'll make a video on this, but based on how people ask or if I feel like, but find out who you are. The day you find out who you are now, you'll change completely. And it's not going to be like a split second thing. There, you found out who you are. Ah, voila. It took me from the age of 36. I'm 48 now. 36. I would say roughly maybe 6, 7 years. 7 years, yeah. That is how long it took me to really find out who I am, really settle down into that new discovery. Okay, it was always there, but I never lived it. I was not true to myself. It's like someone having a thick Indian accent but trying to put on an accent, you know. Uh, and yeah, that brings me to the next point number 12. 1 second, just let me correct this. Um, I just the reason I'm writing it down. 1 second. Self-realization and self-awareness. Yeah, the reason I'm writing it down is sometimes the points get jumbled. Okay, point number 12, and that is this one was a tough one. Being very clear. Once I found out who I was, I had to clearly figure out the answer to. Okay, now I know who I am. What do I really want? What do I want? And when you ask yourself what do you want, it sounds very simple. But here you have to uh, come to terms that if you choose A, you'll have to give up B. Like there's an opportunity cost. For example, if you want to be your own boss, you'll not get a guaranteed monthly income. But if you work for a company, you will get a guaranteed income, which is a big thing. Number two is, let's say, for example, I break off with my family, but then on a bad day, nobody's going to be there for you. Okay. While if you're with your family, maybe there's a possibility someone in your family can at least be there if you get an accident. You get what I'm saying? So there's plus and minus for everything. You take Android, you'll not get the benefits of Apple. You take Apple, you'll not get the benefits of Android. So there's a yin and yang. So you need to figure out what you want, go after it, but be aware there's an opportunity cost. So just let me write this down. What do you want? Okay. And so let me be clear about this point so there's no confusion. What do you actually want? And this comes only after you figure out who you actually are. Okay. So then it comes to the next point, that is, which I said briefly, the opportunity cost. You can't have the cake and eat it. Okay. You can't have a six-pack ab if you constantly love binging on food. You cannot, get the highest marks or be very rich and very successful if you're looking for a balanced family life. Um, there has to something has to give. Okay. So you can't, uh, I'll give one simple example. Nowadays, when I speak to youngsters, a lot of this generation, they always talk about having a balanced family life. I want time to work, and then I want time to sleep, and then I want time with my friends, then I want time with my personal life. It sounds nice. Okay. And many people who are employees or who get a fixed salary and work for a multinational company, they work 8 hours, 5 days a week. Then they get time to spend with their family. They get time to go to the gym and do their personal stuff. It's fine. But then you will be um, never be more rich than that salary. You'll never be more successful. You'll never enjoy the actual freedom of living your life on your terms. You'll never be your own boss. You'll never carry your brand, and your life will be dependent on that company. And the day the company kicks you out, then you lose everything. But on the other hand, if you are the type who, like me, for example, does what he likes, works on his own terms, um, works on his own personal brand, the negative side can be, according to some people, I'm working 24/7. Okay. That can be a negative point, although I don't see it. I enjoy work so much, I don't consider it work. Other people consider it work, I consider it fun. Okay. But what are the upsides? I get to spend time with my family. I can take them for any holiday anytime I want. I can do whatever I like. Sleep when I like. Like right now, it is midnight, 12:41. I can sleep when I like, get up when I like, eat when I like, say what I like, be free. Nobody I'm not afraid of anyone or anything, like how you should be afraid of if you have a job. You can't say something, let's say, anti-Islamic, anti-Jewish, anti-this, anti-that, whatever. Okay, anti-Hindu, anti-Indian. I can say all that. Nobody is going to do a damn thing, although I don't simply say just for the hell of saying it. You get what I'm saying. So keep in mind the opportunity cost. Number 14, very critical thing, which I decided is I'm going to work for myself. I'll be my own boss and nobody's going to be my boss. And why did I decide to do this? Is not because I was the type who wanted to, be his own boss. I just realized I don't fit into a corporate culture. I don't like calling someone a sir who is a manager because what's so great about him? He knows the same thing I do. Maybe he got this position earlier than me, but he is not smarter than me. He doesn't, apart from this work, this job, he doesn't know anything else more than me. I'm better than him in so many things, physically, mentally, emotionally, so many other areas. So why am I putting him as a god up my head? And then every manager above that, oh, sir. I was like, fuck all that. Yeah. And there are customers and clients who I wanted to give a piece of my mind. I couldn't because I was bound by that corporate culture. I said, fuck this, I'm going to work for myself. And I was not the type who wanted to get up on time and sleep on time. And although that is good if you're in school and if you're looking for a life of discipline, or if you're doing something that you're passionate about, an Olympic athlete or let's say a boxer or this thing, who's doing something that he likes. Otherwise, for what? I decided the biggest gift I could give myself was freedom. And money gives you the freedom to do what I like. So I decided to work for myself. So if I resign from a company, uh, if I lose my job, otherwise, I go on the streets, then I have to beg. But if I work for myself, I'm location independent. I can go any place. In fact, if I left UAE, I'm doing this business here. If I leave here, I go some other place, I can still do this online. But if you're working for a company, you can't leave the country. You will leave the country, start from zero. Your experience is not valid. So, nothing doing. I'm going to work for myself. Number 15, very important. Yes, you want to work for yourself. That's fine. But you need to work on your craft. And what do I mean by that? You need to be the best at what you're doing. If you're a plumber, focus on being the best plumber that you can ever be. Electrician, be the best electrician you can ever be. Painter, swimmer, tutor, artist, whatever it is. Okay. Study, learn related to that field, work related to that field, research new technologies related to that field. Mine is personal branding, coaching, mentoring. So I'm constantly surrounding myself not only with books, reading, learning, gaining insights, working with other people, having mentors. That's how I can grow. So work on your craft and be the best at it. Never rest on your laurels. And yes, experience does help you, but if you deal with the same problem again, you are not going to learn anything. You become like a hamster in a hamster's wheel. You need to take on new challenges, get out of your comfort zone, learn something new. Like for example, personal branding. Okay, how can you focus on earning salaries, let's say in UAE? Fine. Okay, UAE, Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. Is it the same? Personal branding in let's say United States, Australia, Europe, UK. Is it the same? Let's say in Far East countries, is it the same? You'll be surprised to know a resume is different in different parts of the world. Interview, how you answer is different in different industries. Like a sales guy should be aggressive. An accounts guy need not be aggressive, but he has to be proactive. An engineer has to follow strict standards. A doctor has to follow rules by the book. He can't be super creative and say, okay, the leg surgery, I'm going to do it in my way. No, you get what I'm saying. So, very important for you to work on your craft, be the master at it, be the best, and be known for it. Okay, many people complain, hey man, your content is so repetitive and boring. Well, guess what? I specialize in a couple of things, not everything, but I'm really good at what I do. Okay, so be the best. All right, so I've reached 15 points. It's around 30 minutes. I have another 15 points more. So, what I'll do is I'll put the link below when I release the second part of this video. So, this will be video number 1. Let me know if you are interested in video number 2, because if you are, then I'll make part 2 of this. And believe me, the next 15 points, I'm not saying it just for you to be eager. there are some bits which you really would want to hear. Let me know if you like content like this. Comment down below so I'm aware, because that's the only way we communicate. And yes, get ready for part two if you let me know that you want it. Any questions regarding what I've spoken? Feel free, comment. It's me signing off. Take care.